Lesson 3D, the different types of chemical reactions. There are 6 chemical reactions that we need to know in grade 10. There are synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, double replacement, neutralization, and the combustion reactions. The synthesis reaction is where 2 elements are chemically combined to make a compound. Example of this is sodium metal plus chlorine gas yielding sodium chloride. Balance, it's 2Na plus 1Cl2 producing 2NaCl. The general form of this is element A plus element B producing or yielding compound AB. Next is the decomposition reaction, which is essentially the synthesis reaction in reverse. This is where a single compound breaks apart or decomposes into its elemental atoms or into smaller compounds. An example of this is NaCl decomposing to yield sodium plus chlorine gas. Another example of this is H2CO3 or carbonic acid decomposing into water and carbon dioxide gas. Balance, it's 1-1-1. The general form of this reaction is compound AB decomposing into elemental components of A and B. Next is the single replacement reaction. There is 2 types for this one. The first is where an elemental metal and an ionic compound react, and the elemental metal trades places with the metal in the compound. An example of this would be elemental aluminum plus copper 2 chloride. The aluminum is a metal. It will trade places with the copper, and the result is elemental copper plus aluminum chloride. Balance, the coefficients are 2, 3, 3, 2. The general form of this is elemental metal A plus compound BC yields elemental metal B plus compound AC. The other version of the single replacement reaction is where an elemental nonmetal reacts with an ionic compound. In this case, the nonmetals trade places. Here we have elemental fluorine reacting with sodium chloride. Fluorine is a nonmetal. The fluorine will bump or replace the other nonmetal, which is chlorine. The result is elemental chlorine plus NaF, sodium fluoride. Balance, it's 1-2-1-2. The general form is elemental nonmetal D plus compound BC results in elemental nonmetal C and compound BD. The fourth reaction is a double replacement reaction. This is where 2 ionic solutions react to produce 2 new ionic compounds. This is a result of the metals replacing one another. It's called a double bump or double replacement reaction. In our example of AgNO3 plus NaCl, the reaction has the silver replace the sodium and the sodium replace the silver. The result is AgCl plus NaNO3, silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Balance, it's 1-1-1-1. The general form is ionic compound AB reacts with ionic compound CD to yield ionic compound AD and ionic compound CB. The fifth reaction is the neutralization reaction, which is a special case of the double replacement reaction. It is an acid and a base reacting to create a salt and water. Our example is HCl and NaOH. The HCl is an acid, it starts with H, and NaOH is a base, it ends in OH. The hydrogen in the H acts like a metal and replaces the Na in the base. The Na in turn replaces the hydrogen. The result is NaCl plus HOH. NaCl is the salt, and HOH, also known as H2O, is water. Balance, it's 1-1-1-1. The general form of this reaction is acid HA reacts with base BOH to produce a salt, Ba, and HOH for water. Lastly is the combustion reaction. This is the burning of organic compounds. Organic compounds are carbon-based compounds that include hydrogen and oxygen as well. Remember hydrocarbons and alcohols? These will burn in the presence of oxygen. When this happens, the products are always carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. In this example, we have C6H12O6, or glucose, in the presence of oxygen. It will burn and produce CO2 and H2O. Balance, it's 1-6-6-6. The general form of this is CXHYOZ plus oxygen. The general form is CXHYOZ, where X, Y, and Z are integers, plus oxygen, which will yield carbon dioxide gas and water gas, or water vapor.